This is the car, and this is the battery pack inside the car. So this winding here will be connected to the battery pack, and the other set of winding will also be connected to the battery pack.
It's really nice being able to see things in like a three-dimensional aspect, especially being able to draw. It gives it more of a mobility in a sense, so I feel like it's really helpful.
I do see some companies using this as a training sessions. So I think, okay, if they can use it for the training session for a company, of course we can, do it in the classroom for education purposes. Yeah, that's one of the major motivation we have. But I don't think that many universities use this.
Most people are visual learners, especially at this stage, and so I think it's helpful to be able to visualize it in an environment that is a lot clearer to see.